Breaking news here at home. Authorities in Kansas City speaking just moments ago after the shooting of a 16-year-old black teen who rang the doorbell at the wrong home looking to pick up his siblings. Prosecutors in Clay County just now announcing charges against the 85-year-old man who shot him. 16-year-old Ralph Yarl is recovering tonight after being shot in the head. His parents had sent him to pick up his younger brothers at a friend's house on Thursday. They say the homeowner fired through the glass door, and when the young man who had been shot ran for help, he was turned away 3 times at different homes. ABC's Alex Perez leads us off with the breaking news from Kansas City tonight.
Tonight, a homeowner charged in the shooting of 16-year-old Ralph Yarl, who mistakenly went to the wrong home. 85-year-old Andrew Lester charged with 1 count of felony assault in the first degree and 1 count of armed criminal action.
As a result of these charges, a warrant was issued for Mr. Lester's arrest, and bond was set at $200,000.
Police say on Thursday night, the high school junior was supposed to pick up his younger siblings at an address on 115th Terrace, but he accidentally went to a home on 115th Street. His family saying Yarl was shot in the head through a glass door after ringing the doorbell. The teenager then falling to the ground and shot a second time in the arm. Yarl was able to run for help, but his family says he was turned away 3 times by neighbors. Officers arriving to the scene, the teen then transported to a nearby hospital. Over the weekend, protesters taking the streets demanding justice. Justice for Ralph! Yarl's family says he's a gifted musician who wants to study chemical engineering. The family's attorney saying he was released from the hospital on Saturday and is expected to make a full recovery, adding the teen suffered a cracked skull, traumatic brain injury, and post-concussion syndrome. Tonight, his aunt's grateful her loved one survived.
My nephew is alive, and he is healing. It is not the story that individual intended for us to tell.
And David, authorities say there's no indication any words were exchanged before the shooting. An arrest warrant has been issued for Lester, and he's expected to be in custody soon. He will be held on a $200,000 bond and could face life in prison. David?
All right, Alex Perez with late reporting from Kansas City for us. Alex, thank you.
65-year-old man in upstate New York is facing murder charges after he allegedly shot and killed a woman who authorities say accidentally turned into his driveway. Kevin Monahan will go before a judge today for killing 20-year-old Kaylin Gillis. According to investigators, Gillis and 3 other people accidentally turned into Monahan's driveway in Hebron, a rural town bordering Vermont, while looking for a friend's home over the weekend. Investigators say Monahan fired 2 shots from his front porch and 1 bullet killed Gillis.
There was no reason for Mr. Monahan to feel threatened, especially as it appears the vehicles were leaving at the time.
A GoFundMe page was created to help Kaylin Gillis's family pay for her funeral. So far, it has raised $65,000.
Good evening and welcome. They are the things that happen all the time. A mixed up address, pulling into the wrong driveway, or confusing one car from another. Yet remarkably, for a 3rd time in a week, seemingly innocent moments of confusion have led to bloodshed. From Kansas City, where a teen who approached the wrong doorstep is recovering from 2 bullet wounds, to New York State, where a 20-year-old woman was fatally shot after the car she was in accidentally drove up the wrong driveway. And now in Elgin, Texas, a high school cheerleader has been shot and seriously wounded after her friend apparently approached the wrong car. A string of tragedies unconnected, except for the fact in each case someone reacted with a gun. In all 3 cases, the alleged shooters have been arrested and face charges. Morgan Chesky has the latest.
3 shootings in 1 week: Missouri, New York, and tonight, Elgin, Texas. All tied to seemingly innocent mistakes, approaching the wrong car or home.
I'm Peyton Washington on Woodlands Elite Generals.
High school cheerleader Peyton Washington, the latest victim, after a stranger opened fire on her and 3 friends in the parking lot of a grocery store outside Austin.
It was unfortunate. These girls were just trying to get home.
The girls traveling home from a late night practice to where they had all parked their cars. After one of the teens mistakenly approached the wrong vehicle, police say a man began shooting multiple times.
The guy got out and they saw that he had a gun, and so they tried to speed off, and he shot his gun like 5 times or so.
Police arresting Pedro Telo Rodriguez Jr., charged with deadly conduct, a 3rd-degree felony. as Washington remains in the ICU.
She's won every title there is to win in all-star cheerleading. She's literally a role model for the kids in this industry throughout the country. Everybody knows her.
The latest shooting comes days after a Kansas City teen was shot in the head after going to the wrong home to pick up his younger brothers. The 84-year-old suspect pleading not guilty today to first-degree assault and armed criminal action and was released on $200,000 bond. The family pressing for additional hate crime charges. Ralph Yarl is now out of a hospital. His family releasing this new photo, calling him a walking miracle. Adding, had the bullet hit his head a fraction of an inch in any other direction, he would probably be dead. Meanwhile, tonight in upstate New York, Kevin Monahan pleading not guilty to murder and remanded into jail without bail. Monahan's accused of fatally shooting 20-year-old Kaylin Gillis. She was in a car that accidentally pulled into his driveway, looking for a friend's house. Police say the suspect fired 2 shots from his front porch, killing Gillis.
For this man to sit on his porch and fire at a car with no threat is just, it angers me so badly.
Tonight, communities grieving after common mistakes ended with violence in 3 separate shootings.
Incredibly troubling. Morgan joins us now from Austin, where that Texas cheerleader is recovering. What's the latest on her condition?
Yeah, Lester, some encouraging news tonight. Peyton Washington made it through surgery and is currently recovering inside an Austin ICU, where friends and family tell us she's already speaking to visitors. And as for that man who pulled the trigger, we are told if he's convicted on this deadly conduct charge, he faces 2 to 10 years in a Texas prison.
All right, Shalom. Praise to the Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rekah Kodash. Double honor to the apostles or elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutation to you, brother, who elect pushing his word and truth and sincerity. All right, so this video here is going to be wrong place shootings or right place judgment. All right, wrong place shootings or right place judgment. Okay, and so it's basically kind of going into the Lord controls everything, okay? Yahweh Shem Shai is literally in control of everything. You know, from life, death, when someone dies, he's in control of it. When someone is born, he's in control of it. If a baby dies before they're born, if a baby dies at 1 year old, he's in control of it. All right, if a baby is born, he's in control of it. Okay. If a bear or a mountain lion come and swallow you up, the Lord controlled it. He authorized, he ordained it. Okay. If I, even myself, if I walk outside right now and a car hits me and I die, hey, I had to perish. That's the way the Lord wanted me to leave this earth. Okay. But just so you know, just like I said, the title is Wrong Place Shootings or Right Place Judgments. Okay, because a lot of people think that stray bullets and being in, as they say, the wrong place at the wrong time, you know, get you killed, all that kind of stuff. But no, you're in the right place. You're not in the wrong place at the wrong time. You're literally in the right place for the right judgment. Okay, so I want to get a couple scriptures just kind of going into that. All right, because you had matter of fact, let's bring that back up, because you had 3 different shooting accounts of this shooting all within the same week. Okay, you had a Jake who went to the wrong house, rung the doorbell to pick up his sibling, which is right here, what you see on the screen now. You had that incident, okay, and where the guy literally just opened fire, started shooting through the door, and then and hit him, and then when he lay on the ground, and then he shot him again. Okay, then you had the woman who was turning around, who was lost, and they went to turn around in someone's driveway, and the guy came onto the porch and just shot in the car as they were turning around. Okay, then you had the high school cheerleader who went up to, as they say, went up to the wrong vehicle, you know, in the parking lot, and the guy got out and just started shooting. Okay, those, like, you could say it was the wrong place, wrong time, or wrong place shootings, as they call it, but it was actually right place judgment. Hey, it was three of them that occurred in one week. So it was in the right place for the right judgment at the right time. All right. Let's see. Like I said, we don't get a couple of scriptures on, you know, just the judgment of the Lord and how it's ordained of him. And thus, anything that's ordained of the Lord, if you really believe in him, then you know that it's righteous judgment at the end of the day. Okay, which is why I bring this out here. Job chapter 4, verse 7. It says, "Remember, I pray thee, whoever perished being innocent, or where were the righteous cut off?" And once again, no one perishes off this earth being innocent. Okay, everyone is guilty of sin. Everyone is guilty of offending the Lord. Okay, no one on this earth perishes being innocent. Okay, so even that baby who you say, oh, he didn't do nothing, he was so innocent, and all these different things. Hey, that baby has lived multiple lives. Okay, that baby has been here before. That particular spirit that's within that particular body has been on this earth with that same spirit is within another body at some point in time. Okay. The Lord is a righteous judge. So honestly, to really say that someone is innocent is to call the Lord unrighteous. Okay, if someone perishes and they're innocent, then you're literally saying that the Lord is unrighteous. All right, which is a wicked thing. This Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 5. It says, the just Lord, meaning the fair, okay, even the fair Lord, is in the midst thereof. He will not do iniquity. Every morning doth he bring his judgment to light. He faileth not, but the unjust knoweth no shame. Okay, the Lord is judging. It's every morning he brings his judgment to light. Okay, the Lord is constantly judging. He's really judging day and night. Okay, people getting their judgments, people getting judgments brought up on them all throughout the day and all throughout the night. The Lord is he never sleeps, he never slumbers. Okay, he's always up, he's always awake, he's always active, he's always moving. Okay, he always has things going on. Okay, every morning doth he bring his judgment to light. Okay, his judgment is brought forth every morning or every day. Okay, there's not a day goes by that the Lord is not judging things. Okay, and he's judging righteously too. This is Amos chapter 3, verse 6. Shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in a city, and the Lord have not done it? That's a question. Okay, which you'll notice whenever Lord asks questions, they're rhetorical questions. Okay, there are questions that need no answer. There are questions in which the answer is within the question. All right, so it says, shall there be evil in the city, and the Lord have not done it? Question mark. Basically saying that when there's evil in the city, the Lord is the one that did it. When there's good in the city, the Lord is the one that did it. When there's righteousness within the earth, the Lord did it. When there's wickedness within the earth, the Lord did it. He ordained it. It all comes through him. Okay, it's all set up by him for his pleasure. Okay, and if you can't get it, you just can't get it. If it don't make sense to you, it just don't make sense to you. Okay, if it seems unrighteous to you, who are you to question the Lord? Who are you? Okay, how can something that has an end question a being that has no beginning and no end? You can't even understand the mind of the Most High, how he even came about. You know, you can't even understand how he thinks, the different levels that he thinks upon. Okay, you can't even see past the few seconds into the future to know what's going to happen to you. So how can you say that the Lord is unrighteous? You know, how can you say that someone is innocent? Okay, All right, this is Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 39. All right, it says, "See now that I, even I am He, and there is no power with me." Okay, there is no other God that works alongside of the Most High Yahweh. Okay, he's the big daddy of them all, the sky daddy, as they like to jokingly call him. You know what I'm saying? But he's the Ancient of Days. Okay, the one who's over all. Okay, there's no greater than He. There's no better than He. Okay, but He says, "I kill and I make alive." I'm gonna read that again. I kill and I make alive. Okay, did I not just say that if someone dies is ordained of the Lord? If someone is born is ordained of the Lord? Okay, so if the Lord killed, if someone dies, the Lord killed him. If someone is born, the Lord killed him. Then He says, "I wound and I heal." Okay, if you, the same way how I think it was the one that not the cheerleader, but the one that turned around in the person's driveway, that was the one that got killed. The Lord ordained it. The Lord killed him. But then the other two victims, they were wounded. Okay, the Lord wounded them, and guess what? If the Lord allows it, He will allow them to be healed. He will heal them. Okay, so it says, "I kill and I make alive, I wound and I heal." Okay, because they didn't die, they were wounded, and if the Lord allows it, they will be healed. He will heal them. Then it says, "Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand." Okay, so can't nobody deliver out the Lord's hand. If the Lord has a particular judgment set up to come about on this particular spirit or this particular individual, it's going to happen. Okay, can't nobody, not you nor yourself, nor your family members, nor your love, whatever. Can't nobody deliver you out of the Lord's hand. Okay, the Lord got a judgment set up for you. Guess what's gonna happen? You will be judged with that righteous judgment. All right. So this is let's see. This Psalm 78 chapter 78 verse 43. Okay, this is what the Lord did in Egypt. Okay, and so this is why I said he judged Egypt, righteous judgment also. Okay, and He's gonna judge this place too. The new Egypt, or the spiritual Egypt, the house of bondage. All right, so let's read what some of the things that happened. This Psalm 78 verse 43. How He had wrought His signs in Egypt and His wonders in the field of Zoan. And it says, "And had turned their rivers into blood and their floods that they could not drink." So the Lord made it to where it was literally impossible for them to drink of their drinking water, because He turned it into blood. Man, if you think about it, that's gross, that's nasty. And think about the consequence and repercussions of that. If your river, your lake, your stream, whatever body of water that you get water from turns to blood, that means that whatever is within that river is going to die. Okay? The things that are in that river, in that lake, in that stream, in that body of water, it will die. And not only that, it will stink. Okay? That blood will give off a particular foul smell, and then the dead carcasses that is within it will give off an even fouler smell. Okay? So thus, it is literally impossible to drink that water. And that's what the Lord did unto Egypt. Okay? It says, He sent diverse sorts of flies among them, which devoured them, and frogs which devoured them. Think about how we be swiping at flies or swiping at mosquitoes or slapping mosquitoes and different things like that. So think about if the Lord plagued, well, not if, which the Lord actually did in Egypt, but if the Lord plagued this place with flies, mosquitoes, horse flies, yellow jackets, bees, wasps, all kind of different, like I said, diverse sorts of flies. Okay, what if the Lord did that? Gnats, love bugs, I'm just throwing that in there. You know, them damn love bugs, something else too. But yeah, what if the Lord did that? Okay, then it says frogs. And it's just imagine having just a multitude of frogs in your house. You know, wherever you go, wherever you step. Okay, it's frogs. It's frogs. That's nasty. Okay. And it says, he gave also in their increase unto the caterpillar and their labor unto the locust. Okay, so the increase of their field, all right, so their their crops, he had the caterpillars and the locusts to devour them. So thus it was a famine. that will bring about a famine. And if your food supply is destroyed, your rivers is blood, so you can't drink the water. You can't get fish out of it. Okay, then you got the caterpillars and the locusts destroying your crops, so you can't even get the crops. Okay, let's get a little more. He destroyed their vines with hail and their sycamore trees with frost. So if you got fruit, any type of tree that's bearing fruit, can't get that off the tree. That's been destroyed. He gave up their cattle unto the hail and their flocks to the thunderbolts. So he shot down thunderbolts, rained down hail upon the cattle, so the beasts of the field. So I mean, the Lord just totally was destroying Egypt. Okay, he destroyed them through the drinking water. They couldn't drink water, couldn't get fish out of the water. The trees and the vines were frozen and devoured up. The herbs of the field, the crops was devoured, the cattle was killed. I mean, damn, he was destroying them all around. Okay, it says he cast upon them the fierceness of his anger, wrath and indignation and trouble by sending evil angels among them. All right. Then it says he made a way to his anger. He spared not their soul from death, but gave their life over to the pestilence. So then they had diseases. Okay, so along with everything, they had diseases that was coming, and smote all the firstborn in Egypt, and the chief of their strength in the tabernacles of Ham. All right, so he smote all the firstborn of Egypt, even the chief from the Pharaoh on down to the Pharaoh's wise men or whatever his guide, his guides or whatever they called, basically the hierarchy. Everyone was hit. Everyone was hit by these plagues within Egypt. As a matter of fact, there's a scripture that actually says there was no house that was within Egypt that had not any death within it. Basically meaning that at least one person died in every single household in Egypt at that time. Now imagine that happening here in America, Babylon the Great. That every single household within this country has someone that dies. You see what I'm saying? The Lord can really, if he wants to, he can really jack shit up. Okay? That's why you gotta fear him. But everything that he did unto Egypt was within righteousness. It was within righteousness. The Lord set them up so that he could bring them down and show his mighty power. The same way the Lord set this place up, and he's going to bring it down with even greater plagues, even greater deliverance than he did for what we're reading about. The Lord is going to do that. All right. This place is in the right time. And guess what? It's going to be ripe for judgment. Okay. When that harvest comes, like the Lord say, the harvest is the end of the world. It's going to be ripe for judgment when that press is full. All right. I'm going to grab one more too before we get out of here. This is Matthew chapter 24, verse 12. And it says, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. And that's what you see with these three articles, or these three different incidents that happened all within the span of a week. Someone walking up to a car, someone walking up to a random car and getting shot. Someone turn around in a random driveway, getting shot. Someone walking up to a random door, getting shot. Okay, why is that? Because the iniquity shall abound. Iniquity has abound. And what is iniquity? Let's get it. It's sin upon sin. Okay, it's the Greek word Strong's G 458. Anomia. All right, so it's the Greek word anomia, and it says the condition of without law because of ignorant of it, because of violating it, contempt and violation of the law, iniquity or wickedness. All right, so basically it's a condition without law. So in this place here in Babylon the Great is pure lawlessness. Okay, everything is against the Heavenly Father and His law, statutes, and commandments. And so, as a result of that, the love of many are waxing cold. And remember, what is love? The fulfilling of the law. Love is the fulfilling of the law. Well, if you have iniquity or lawlessness, thus it's waxing cold. These people are cold. And guess what? These people are gonna get colder and colder and colder. Because there's going to come a time when we have the MOTB to be implemented. Okay, Jacob's trouble be in full effect. These people's hearts are going to just wax colder and colder. All right, but yeah, this is just a quick lesson on that. Wrong place shootings or right place judgments. All right, so call all your Habashim Ashah, Bashim Akakodash. Hope you edified. Shalom.